Thank you.
That's a good one. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Mount Olive Township Workshop and Council Meeting for May 8th, 2018. If you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence for all those men and women that sacrifice and serve us each and every day.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Michelle, would you read the Open Public Meetings Act, please?
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda.
Here.
Mr. Ferrante.
Here.
Mrs. Labow. Mr. Mania.
Here.
Mr. Stewart.
Here.
Mr. Roman.
Here.
Mr. Nacastro.
Here. First item is we have a proclamation honoring Childhood Apraxia of Speech Awareness Day. Office of the Mayor, proclamation honoring Childhood Apraxia of Speech Awareness Day. Whereas on May 14, 2018 marks the 4th annual Childhood Apraxia of Speech Day, during which awareness will be raised about childhood apraxia of speech, a particularly difficult, persistent, and severe speech and communication disorder in youngsters. And whereas childhood apraxia of speech, CAS, causes children to have extreme difficulty learning to speak and among its most severe of speech and communication problems in children. And whereas the act of learning to speak comes effortlessly to most children, those with apraxia endure an incredible and lengthy struggle. And whereas without the appropriate intervention, children with apraxia are then placed at high risk for impact in literacy and other school-related skills. And whereas the most children with apraxia of speech will learn to communicate with their very own voices only if they receive early intervention and appropriate frequent speech therapy. And whereas it is imperative that there be greater public awareness about childhood apraxia of speech at local, state, and federal level. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Robert Mayor Greenbaum, Mayor of Mount Olive Township, do hereby proclaim May 14, 2018 as Childhood Apraxia of Speech Awareness Day in the Township of Mount Olive. We have 13 resolutions. Does anyone have any questions on resolutions?
Nope.
Let's see, what else we got here? We have one ordinance for second reading. Do we have any questions on that?
Nope.
Seeing none. Do we have any old business? Seeing none. Do we have any new business? Seeing none. Does anyone from the public wish to be heard at this time? Closed to the public. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I'll open the Mount Olive Township Council meeting for May 5th, 2018. Michelle, would you read the Open Public Meetings?
May 8th.
May 8th. What did I say? May 18th? May 8th. Thank you. 2018.
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda.
Here.
Mr. Ferrante.
Here.
Mrs. Labow. Mr. Mania.
Here.
Mr. Stewart.
Here.
Mr. Roman.
Here.
Mr. Nacastro.
Here. Mr. Amianda, would you move for the minutes from the April 24th workshop and public meeting, please?
I make a motion for approval of minutes of the previous meetings on April 24, 2018, work session and public meeting.
Roll call, please.
Second.
Any discussion? I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda.
Here,
Yes.
yes.
Mr. Ferrante.
Yes.
Mr. Mania.
Yes.
Mr. Stewart.
Yes.
Mr. Roman.
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro.
Abstain. We have 15 pieces of correspondence. Does anyone have anything on the correspondence? Seeing none. Oh, I was on the wrong sheet. I hereby open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 19-2018, an ordinance of the Township of Mount Olive, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, vacating a portion of the Parkway Drive and adjacent driveway, Block 8600, Lot 25. Mr. Ferranti?
Chair, I move for adoption and final passage ordinance number 19-2018.
Second.
Does anyone from the public wish to be heard? Seeing none, close to the public. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes. No ordinances for second reading? Oh, wait, I have to do, yeah, I'm sorry, I got the wrong one again. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
How's that on the wrong sheets again? Where
So
am
you
I?
miss one meeting and you're all
I
messed up.
know, I do. I'm all
Because I
messed
moved
up.
things around for you.
For second reading. Oh, my God. Yes, the ordinance number 19-2018 is passed on second reading, and I hereby direct the clerk to forward a copy of the same to the mayor and publish the notice of adoption as required by law. Thank you. We have 13 consent resolutions. Does anyone wish to move any to non-consent? Seeing none, Mr. Roman, would you move resolutions 1 through 13?
I move for approval consent resolutions 1 through 13.
Second.
Does anyone from the public wish to be heard on any? Closed to the public. Any comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Okay, just whoever, yeah, this is for non-consent.
Yes, we have one resolution for non-consent.
Does anybody have any questions?
I move for approval,
Wait.
non-consent.
Does anyone have any questions on that? Concerns?
Go ahead and-
I recuse myself
I recuse myself due to my affiliation.
as a member of the organization.
Thank you. Mr. Roman?
I move for approval of non-consent resolution number 1.
Second.
Anyone from the public wish to be heard? No one from the public? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrante?
Abstain?
Mr. Ma... yourself. You recused yourself.
Yes.
You
You
don't-
recuse, you'll have to vote.
Okay,
I
Mr.
recuse
Amianda?
myself.
Yes.
Mr. Ferrante?
I recuse myself. Again.
Mr. Mania?
Recuse myself.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes. Mr. Mania, would you move the bill list, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the approval of the bill list.
Second.
Anyone from the public wish to be heard? Closed to the public. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes. Administrative reports. Andrew, Claudia?
Just an update on the pool. The signs are up. Membership is going smoothly. We have approximately 250 members, so hopefully that continues, and everyone's looking forward to it.
Very good
Great.
response. Thank you. Do we have any old business? Seeing none, do we have any new business? Seeing none. Do we have any legal matters?
I'm going to break the,
You're going to break the trend.
just one brief update. You'll all recall the township settled the cobblestone matter, and the way the agreement was structured, if we were to find any additional costs, such as remediation costs, the township would be entitled to get money back from the settlement in order to pay for those, and that did happen. There's about $52,000 worth of remediation costs discovered by the contractor, and so that money is coming back to us to cover that, so the township doesn't have to pay for that out of pocket.
Very nice.
And that is it for my report tonight.
Thank you very much. Good news.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
Susan, do you have a timeline as to how this is going? When's the next, I guess, point of the project?
I do not at this point in time. but
I could
can
give you an
certainly
update,
find out.
Councilman. The environmental consultant is currently working there, removing the asbestos and the tanks. He should be done probably in the next couple weeks. Once that's done, the fire department will go in there to do some training, and then the engineer will prepare bid specs to demolish the structure.
And none of these delays have, damaged the possibility of Homeless Solutions going forward with the project?
Chuck and I have been in constant contact with the owner of Homeless Solutions, and we've continued the dialogue, so they still are
Okay.
interested. They might be amending the developer's agreement, but it's still very much moving forward.
Okay, good to hear. Thank you.
Very good. It's been a long time. Council reports. Mr. Amianda, anything on Board of Ed or seniors?
Yes, the Board of Education held its regular meeting on Monday, April 30th, 2018 at Mount Olive Middle School, 6:30 p.m. Board of Education opened the floor for public school budget hearing as required by law. Dr. Larry Reynolds led the discussion, and it was followed by public questions and comments about the budget. Mount Olive Township Board of Education approved the 2018 to 2019 school district budget as follows. General Fund, 90,201,275. Special Revenue Fund, total amount 1,066,520. Debt-based budget in the amount of 96,035 and 864 shillings. And the 2018-2019 budget resulted in a general fund tax levy of $66,580,498 and a debt service tax levy of $4,244,903. The budget included $3,128,840 for capital projects. Mount Olive Township Board of Education accepted the resignation and was put / retirement of Dr. Larry Reynolds as Superintendent of Schools effective September 30th, 2018, with appreciation for 10 years of service to the Mount Olive Township School District. And that's the end of the school board report. And then there is a comment about the senior citizens.
Okay.
You got that file? Where is it? Stuck there. Okay. Mount Olive Senior Citizens Club held its business meeting on Tuesday, May 1st, 2018 at 11:30 a.m. There were 67 members in attendance. Mr. Richard Haggard, club president, reminded members that May is Senior Citizens Month, and there are many activities planned for seniors, including golf tournament, practice at the golf practice in Flanders, New Jersey. And that's the end of that's the end of Senior Citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Leanda. Mr. Ferranti, anything on Lake, Library, or Environmental?
No, the library's meeting right now.
Thank you. Mr. Stewart, anything on Economic or Community Action?
Yes, I linked Jeff Stadelman up with Megan Hunchner, who runs the Morris County EDC, because they're in the process of doing a flyer on every community in Morris County to promote the business activity. So we're now involved with that one.
Which is good.
And then Thursday morning of this week, the Community Action Panels group is actually holding an event for the members of that and some others on response training on how to keep somebody alive for pending first responders arriving in the business environment. And that'll be at the Bud Lake Fire Department.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Maney, anything on legislative or planning?
No, we have a meeting Thursday night. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend. I have a death in the family.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
Condolences.
Mr. Roman, anything on recreation or pride?
Nothing to report?
Thank you. Anyone from the public wish to be heard at this time? Seeing none, close to the public. Any council comments? Mr. Amianda?
None.
Mr. Ferrante?
None.
Mr. Mania?
Tim, great job doing the potholes.
You got one done. Mr. Stewart?
Can't top that one, none.
Mr. Roman?
I have nothing to report.
And I have nothing. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all.